Hi everybody, welcome to Stay in Love Motivations. I'm Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator. Welcome to this week's post. This week's post is titled, It's My World, You're Just Living in It. And I really wanted to focus on and to really elaborate more on how we are in control. We are actually co-creators with our world, and how our energy, how what we are emitting from our spirit is actually crafting and designing the world that we're living in. And how if you can learn to really tap into and harness the energy that you possess, and by being able to change it, that you can actually reconstruct the world that you're living in for the better. And the more that you can learn to be in control, and by mastering your soul, which consists of your mind, your will, and your emotions, then you can have the world that you want to have, that you desire to have. You know, it just makes sense because he said that if you delight yourself in me, I'll give you the desires of your heart. And I know what my desire is. My desire is to have a better world for myself. My desire is to just to have a world that's surrounded by loving beings, and to be able to be productive in whatever capacity that I can be, in the way that I'm designed to be, and just to be more authentic. And in order to do that, my loves, you have to understand that the people that are living in your world are not dictating. You are dictating the world that you're living in, not the other way around. And when we can finally accept that and take our power back, then we can have the world that we really want. What kind of world do you want to have for yourself? You know, I mean, the world that the people that are living in there are all being, and I don't want to say manipulated, but they are just echoing back what you're emitting spiritually. So if you are a loving, kind, generous, thoughtful, considerate, friendly person, then the characters in your world will reflect that back to you. And if you just learn to understand that, babies, then you can really, really start to really have fun with your life. I mean, like last week when I was telling you about, how the people I come in contact with and interact with, they're actually mirrors of myself. And I begin to see myself in others, and I'm pleased, which lets me know that my Creator is pleased because I'm actually being me. So if you can learn to do that by mastering the energy that you are emitting, by being in control of that, and by just learning to recognize those feelings, whether or not they're positive or negative, and choose to stay on the side that, your joyful side and your loving side, and you can emit that constantly, then, your world will be better. And, it's funny because situations change, circumstances change, and all of that, but if you can just learn to be more authentic and really recognize that it is your world. It's your world. It's not anyone else's world but yours. That you can really have some fun with it. And I challenge you. I challenge you to really start playing around with it, Give it 30 days. You get up before you even get out of bed. You do your affirmations. And if you want some help with that, contact me via Skype or email. I'll be happy to help you with that. We will customize a package specifically designed just for you. And you just get up every day. And before you even get out of bed, just kind of get centered. Recognize the feeling that you're in. And a clue is whatever feeling and mood that you're in before you go to bed, That's going to be the one you're going to be in when you wake up. It's the truth. So if you choose to go to bed happy, joy-filled, you will know that when you wake up, you're just going to be the exact same way. So if you don't do that before you go to bed, make sure that when you are in bed that morning, before you even get out of bed, tune in to that, what you're feeling. Just kind of say, how am I feeling right now? And if you don't feel so good, don't get out of bed until you have changed the energy that you are feeling. Then when you get out of bed, you can begin to dictate the type of day, week, month, year you will have. And it just takes practice, and there's a point where it becomes natural for you. And it took me a long time to kind of get into that mode of behavior. But I'm telling you that if you just choose to discipline yourself to do that, then your world will be so much better. And you will begin to understand, it's my world. You're just living in it. So when you encounter all those little hiccups and those little negative people that, and it just makes it more interesting. It just makes your movie, your play called life more interesting when you encounter those things. But it also helps you to kind of, just kind of tap yourself on the shoulder and say, is that something going on within you? You become your own self-therapist. You become your own therapist, because if you just can be just so aware of all of your surroundings, be present, so that when you encounter those little hiccups, those little negative, people that, those sourpusses I call them, then you could say, wait a minute, what's going on? What's going on with me? What am I feeling? And it just really helps you to be more in control and be the master of your world. Now, my loves, if you can learn how to just be more present, be more accepting of the characters in your play called life, because they really are handcrafted and hand designed by God, your creator, to teach you more about who you are. And if you're able to just be a student in your play called life, then you can really learn so much about who you are, who you would like to be, and how you can be better. And what I mean by that is, as you continue in this journey in your play called life, you will encounter individuals, and it's so great because as you are on the prefaces of changing and evolving. So something it happened this week, and you will encounter individuals that reflect the old you, right? And they will keep coming, circling back. You think you're making progress. You're like, wait a minute, how did you get here? What it is they're circling back just to say to you, are you ready to move on, or do you want to stay this way? And it's up to you to be able to recognize those characters. And when you can say, no, inwardly, I choose not to have you to be a part of my life anymore because you no longer represent me, then that's a wonderful thing, my loves. When that happens, then you will attract individuals representing that new and improved you. Oh my gosh, when that happens, it's like the heavens open up and you begin to just glorify God, because it lets you know that you have evolved, you have become better, you have become more in control of who you are and who you would like to be. And it reflects how you have grown and evolved. So if you pay attention to that, my loves, you can really learn to start crafting and changing your world for the better. And I'm telling you, pay attention. As these individuals, they circle back, and they'll be a part of your world. I call it a season, maybe 3 months. They'll be a part of your world long enough for you to recognize and say, wait a minute, this is not who I am anymore. I don't want to be this anymore. When you decide, make that decision, they exit. I'm telling you. And you say goodbye to them. And then when you can put closure to that, you open up a gateway to attract new and improved versions of you. And what a wonderful thing that can be, my loves. I hope you enjoyed this week's post. It's my world. You're just living in it. by helping you to learn to recognize the characters in your play called life as being representatives of who you are, and how when you recognize the old you and you say goodbye to that old you, the new and improved version of you will appear, and it'll let you know that you are entering a new chapter of your life, all for the better. That means that you can bring in what you have been really meditating on and creating in your spirit. That means it's manifesting. So what an exciting time is that. And that's what happened to me this week. So I'm so excited as to what's going to happen next week and in the coming weeks. So as they come, of course, you know I'm going to report these to you, my loves. So I hope you enjoyed this week's post. Next week we are going to be talking about are you being the character that you are supposed to be? Are you operating in who you really are? Are you playing the part that you were designed to play? Or are you still imitating? Are you imitating? Are you perpetrating? Or are you being authentic? That's what we're going to be talking about next week. Don't really have a title, but yes, I do. Are you playing your part? And if you are you playing it authentically? That's what we're going to be talking about next week. Thank you so much, my loves. Happy resurrection. Please allow the Jesus energy in you to be resurrected so that you can be more loving, kind, compassionate, joyful, Jesus-filled. Happy Resurrection Week. Love and care for all of you. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, stay in love.